What's good, y'all, man? Welcome to my first ever NBA hot takes video. Now listen, normally when YouTubers do this, they'll find other people's hot takes and then they'll react to them so it's not as bad. They don't get as much heat. No. In this video, I'm going to be catching so much slander. These are my 5 hot takes that probably no one's going to agree with, but I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to speak why I have this on my mind, and hopefully some of you guys agree with my stuff. But if you come for the slander, I'm ready for it. Hot take number 1, I believe that Zion Williamson right now is a top 3 scorer in the league. Zion Williamson averaged over 27 points per game on over 60% field goal percentage. Just truly amazing numbers, and even those numbers don't do him justice because a lot of his misses he just puts right back up with a dunk. And this doesn't even consider the fact that he's, a dominant, I wouldn't say big, but he's a dominant forward that goes into the paint with a center that doesn't even shoot. Like, his spacing doesn't even really fit him, and he does that anyway. And I'm not saying that in the fourth quarter, 2 seconds left, you need a 3 or you need a 2 or anything, you give it to Zion Williamson, like he's a top 3 in that. But if you need a 30-point game that doesn't take away from anybody, that's Zion Williamson. Because he misses so little times, it's not really taking shots away from anyone else. With Jonas Valanciunas now being a Pelican, dude, there's no way Zion is not an all-NBA player next year. Like, I'm actually predicting like 31 points per game, at least like 8 rebounds. I don't think they'll win that much, and that's why he won't be like an MVP candidate. But man, I believe in Zion so much, it's not even funny. Even if he doesn't average that many points per game, his playmaking is also so underrated. I hope he works on his jump shot. He could actually be like a legit top 5 player soon, in the next couple years. And for my second hot take, I think that Joel Embiid is better than Nikola Jokic. Now, I won't lie, okay? And this might sound really weird, but I think that Nikola Jokic has a lot bigger of an impact offensively. And it's actually, like, not even close. I mean, Joel Embiid, don't even get me wrong, he's a great scorer, but, like, he's not really creating too much besides a post-up. But Jokic, man, he's so good offensively, but I don't think Jokic will ever win a ring. I don't. And for that reason, you have to have Embiid over. Because think about this. When is the last time a team won a championship where the center wasn't a defensive center? Like, you got to go back. Okay, maybe you could say the 2016 Cavs. The Warriors teams, I'd say Draymond was that, like, defensive guy. I don't think the Nuggets will ever get that defensive guy. I'm just being honest. When you go back, every center had at least like a rim protector of some sort. Jokic isn't that. And I don't think you can put 2 centers with Jokic because, man, that defense would just be so slow, even if it is good rim protection. I just don't see them ever winning a ring, so how can I put Jokic over Embiid if Jokic will never win? So you know what? I'm going to change my take. My new take is Jokic is a better player than Embiid, but Jokic will never win, and I think Embiid will win a championship. And for hot take number 3, I actually have kind of 2 hot takes. One of them is, I think if the Lakers sign DeMar DeRozan, it won't be that bad of spacing. I'll be honest. And it's like, LeBron has always played with these good star players, and it never really not works. LeBron kind of always makes it work. So either, he shoots more and better from 3, or, he takes more of a playmaking role or more of a scoring role. He could do it all. And just saying that adding DeMar DeRozan, a legit, he should have been an all-star last year. Let's be honest. I think someone got hurt, and who replaced him? Mike Conley? No. DeMar DeRozan should have been an all-star last year. Adding an all-star, unless your name's Russell Westbrook, it never hurts. Westbrook fans, I'm kidding. But adding DeMar DeRozan, it gives you a whole new spectrum of scoring, playmaking. DeMar DeRozan has become an amazing playmaker. It gives you way more size, especially, if the Lakers get Buddy Hield, and they have, like LeBron at the 1, Buddy Hield at the 2, DeRozan at the 3, and then someone at the 4 and 5. And that kind of goes into my second hot take. I think that AD needs to play the 5, or the Lakers just won't win it all. It's as simple as that. Like, spacing, if you really want spacing, you're going to need to play AD at the 5, because who else? I mean, Marc Gasol, but like Marc Gasol, as good as he was barely that good last year, if you even call him good. And he's going to be a whole year older. He must be like 37, 38 or something. Like, he won't be someone who plays on a championship team. I'm sorry, he won't. So you're going to need to put AD at the 5, or you're going to need to get either a stretch 5, or I guess, a really, really good defensive 5. But back to my other take, I don't care that it was a different era. LeBron James played with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was a stretch, but he wasn't really that good at stretching the floor. Also, LeBron has a tendency to just try and sign these players, or I guess it could also be the Laker thing, but like, what was it, Wesley Matthews? There was some other like shooter that like the Lakers watch out for. Like, dude, those are like 7 points per game scorers. You need legit players like, a Buddy Hield who averages 15 on 39% 3-point shooting, or DeMar DeRozan who averages like 20 and 7. I'm sorry, a player who averages 20 and 7, it's not just gonna not work with LeBron. Okay, it's going to work.
So in my last video, I did a 2020 NBA redraft. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead, please. And I'll just go ahead and spoil it. I chose Lamelo Ball to get picked number 1 over Anthony Edwards. And there was a reason for that. I think Anthony Edwards right now is the better player, but my hot take is Anthony Edwards, he won't be this, superstar. He won't be a superstar, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to keep saying there's nothing wrong with that because there isn't. Okay. So Anthony Edwards, he's really a man. He likes basketball. Don't get me wrong. But even, before he got drafted, in his interview, he was saying, oh, if I had my choice, I'd rather play in the NFL than the NBA. And he doesn't even really watch basketball, NBA games when he's not playing it. And that's just the kind of person he is. He likes to have fun, and he's not going to go too deep into the basketball thing. I think that his his ceiling that he's going to hit, I think his actual ceiling is actually a top 5 player, but he's not going to hit it. What he's going to hit, he might be a Bradley Beal type player, which is, not bad at all. Bradley Beal is a really, really good player who is going to deserve a max every single year. So being a Bradley Beal, that's great. I just think better things for Lamelo, and that's why I think, I had Lamelo number 1 and Anthony Edwards number 2. But Anthony Edwards, he's going to be really good, but he won't be a GOAT, a greatest of all time. He won't be top 30 greatest of all time player. And let me remind you guys, I am an Anthony Edwards fan. Okay, I've been following him since high school. I'm a Georgia fan. He went to Georgia. I love him. Pause. But I love the guy. He just won't be as good as Timberwolves fans think he will be. And for my final hot take, I don't think that the Knicks winning last year, making it to the 4th seed, I don't think that was that good for their team. And I'll be honest, it's because okay, who is realistically just going to go to the Knicks now? I just don't believe in that Knicks roster. They looked really good in this regular season, but do you think all those players will uphold their 40% 3-point percentage? We saw in the playoffs, they weren't that good at 3-point shooting. I just feel like this might have been a fluke year. I'm just going to be honest. And what free agents are they really? They're going to have to trade for someone, because what free agents are they going to sign? Maybe there's someone next year, but will that even get them to a championship? I just wish, or not, I don't wish, but if the Knicks could have just tanked this season and gotten a Cade Cunningham or an Evan Mobley or a Jalen Green or any of those 3, would have been amazing for their core. Alongside they have quickly, they have Obi Toppin's not that good, but they have Mitchell Robinson, they have RJ Barrett, they have all these. But making the playoffs, does it really prove to teams that they're the real deal? I don't really think so, especially if they used all their money on this free agency and get a point guard like Lonzo or Dennis Schroeder or just any of the current point guards that are pretty good but not too good. Then you can't even get a superstar next year, because you're already paying Randall, you're paying, I think they're paying a couple of the players. I could be mistaken, but I think that if the Knicks would have tanked and got a really good player that they could build around, it would just be a lot safer, because even though the Knicks had a good season this year, they've been pretty bad the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Are teams really going to trust to sign to the Knicks just because they had one good year? And then what if they don't make the playoffs next year? Then I don't even think, the Knicks are a good enough team. They're not going to be a 15 or 14 seed next season. That's not going to happen. But if they barely miss the playoffs, then they don't get a good pick. They didn't get a good pick last year, and now no one's going to want to sign with them. And it's this whole mess that, did you really want to do this? They could have just tanked and hopefully gotten something even better. That's going to be the video. If you enjoyed, like the video. Do not subscribe. Okay, if you're already subscribed, that's good, but if you're not subscribed, wait till you watch 4 or 5 of my videos and then subscribe, so I know that you're actually watching. But if you want to be a rebel, go ahead. But yeah, comment what you disagreed with, what you did agree with. Should I do another one of these videos, or were these just so bad that I should never make a video again? Just let me know in the comments. Please comment, and yeah, peace.